what Donald Trump is doing is changing the world and making it a better place, and we can't emphasize that enough. Now, the return of the Shah is one of the big issues that has always been surrounding the story of Iran. The Shah was there, as James was saying, before the stupidity of the left in the late 1970s saying, oh no, the Shah's a terrible bloke. The Shah was fighting communism, he was fighting Islamism. Maybe he didn't always use the most diplomatic methods to do so, but that's what he was doing with a modern, sophisticated country. The left tore him down, and we've seen the result ever since. But there's talk of bringing the Shah back. Danial Taghaddos, who is in Australia, he has long been advocating for the return of the Shah. So let's have a chat to Danial. Danial, great to see you again. We spoke only a few days ago, or a couple of weeks ago. We were talking about the likelihood of the Shah coming back, or the Shah's son. Where are we now? This is a great day for you, obviously. What are your emotions? What are you feeling? And what do you see as the way forward, Danial?
Well, yeah, thank you, Rowan, for having me. I do have a range of emotions, starting from joy alongside my compatriots in Iran, who you may have seen the footage, have been taken to the street to celebrate the killing of Khamenei, but also bit of sadness for the lives lost. Tens of thousands of lives lost last month, which would have been easily preventable if things had gone differently in June 2025. But as for return of the Shah, the plan is already there. Just yesterday, Shah has announced the second revision of the Prosperity Project transition plan, for namely emergency plan for the emergency phase of taking the country until the first 6 months. So the plan is already there. There's going to be referendums, and it is going to go democratically. He doesn't want any labels, just like they are being thrown about 1953 and the old tale of Mossadegh. So he's emphasizing on referendums, running the transition democratically. People are more than ready to welcome him into the country, and many of our compatriots are, voicing their feelings and voicing their support for him to come back.
We've got some footage of some kids in Iran, in Tehran, I think, celebrating. Let's have a look. Rita.
Yes, they were celebrating the hit. They're saying they've hit them. The next stage, though, is where the Iranian people will have to determine their own future, Danial. How do you see that happening once this operation is over and it's up to the Iranian people to rebuild? How will that happen? Because you've got so many competing forces. You've got the old guard who may be on their knees, but they're still there. There's millions of them. So the fear is that you're going to have unrest in the country for perhaps many years to come.
So as soon as the scales tip towards the people's power, what they're going to do is they're going to take over the government institutions, and once the Mehrabad airport is secured, the Shah can come back and lead the way through. We already know there are many defectors from the current regime's forces ready to cooperate with the Shah and his team. So they will come in and they will announce the plans, the overtaking of the government institutions, to run things smoothly. Of course, there's going to be a few rogue members of the IRGC and Basij here or there, but securing the country is not going to be a major problem.
James.
Daniel, I hope I'm not offering premature congratulations on the liberation of your country, but we certainly do hope that this goes the way you are planning it to. But what about other rival groups that are out there competing for control of Iran? And I'm thinking specifically of, I believe it's called the MEK, which I understand is kind of an Islamist Marxist group that's also been lobbying very heavily in Washington to try and get support for it taking control of the country.
Well, they might have a lot of money in lobbying in the United States, but as you mentioned, their ideology, they're Islamist Marxists, and people of Iran have taken to the streets to get rid of Islamist Marxists of Islamic Republic regime. Don't forget that this regime came about by the help of Marxists as well, and by the hands of this very MEK organization. So they have no grounds, no boots on the ground. They have no support in Iran. Not only them, the separatist groups as well, they don't have enough support in the regions that they claim to have the population by them. Reformists are not able to take anything over because they have been pushed away from the political scene. So they're just spending the money that to show themselves as real players, but they don't have boots on the ground.
James.
Well, Daniel, though, I just want to sort of follow up then on what the plan looks like with the Shah and what sort of government that would look like. Would this be a secular government? Would it be sort of, I don't know, possibly in the model of the closest thing I can think of, forgive me, is Ataturk in Turkey, a sort of a secularizing, democratizing force? Is it that sort of thing that you're looking at after 100 days or after a year or at some point, then you hold elections again?
Yeah, well, one of the key principles that Reza Shah emphasizes on is having a secular democracy. So what's going to happen is there's going to be an interim state between the fall of Islamic Republic until the new constitution is written in the Constitutional Assembly elected by people. And even before that, there's going to be referendums for the people to choose the type of government, whether it be a monarchy or a republic. So the type of the government, being monarchy or republic, is going to be elected in a referendum, selected in a referendum by the people. And then the Constitutional Assembly are going to write the new constitution. Of course, the principles are secularism, separating of church, of religion from the state, and democratic government, and all those things. And after that, once the constitution is written and prepared, there's going to be referendums to see whether the people want the new constitution or they want it changed. The plans are all prepared.
Daniel, great to chat to you. Thanks so much for coming on, Outsiders, and big day. I know you've been looking forward to this all your life, so we'll keep in touch and fingers crossed it all works out. Thanks so much, Danial Taghaddos.